Welcome back to the In Between podcast. We are doing a solo today. I'm so excited to be chatting with you. We're going to talk all about my business. So, I have neglected to share about Kassidy Lynne Social on here, and I interview entrepreneurs and female founders. So, I want to share my own personal story on how I got started in my business, the journey, and where we are today, and a little bit about where we're going. So, 3 years ago, I started my business, Kassidy Lynne Social. We are a social media management and marketing company. We specialize in managing and creating content for business owners, specifically small to medium businesses. I love what I do. I love creating content for other people. The funny thing is I do not like creating content for myself. I've definitely had to get better at that. I think I'm so focused on client work that then when it comes to my stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And so how I got into the industry really is that I used to run a blog, and blogging was super fun for me. I love writing. It's passion. And I got introduced to a PR company in which I started running their social media. They didn't really have any social media for their clients, but it was a service that they wanted to add. And so they brought me on board to do their social media for their clients. They were trying to build it up, and I had no idea what I was doing. I went to school and got my degree in kinesiology, so I was all health and fitness. And I was thrown into the social media role. I figured it out. I was like, okay, like this is fun. At first I was like, this is easy. And then I was like, no, it's not. And I worked with them for a couple months. When I came back out to Vegas, I decided that the company was no longer for me. And so in trying to find a different role, thinking I wanted to go into social media, I was living with my parents, and they own their own company, and they were like, well, why don't you run the social media for them and their business? And I was like, sure, like I'll run the social media, and then I'll have more of a tangible evidence, if you will, to show potential clients, this is what I can do for you. And so from there, it really just escalated. I'm very blessed that my business has been built off of referrals and clients finding out about me from other clients or from people who know me. And I knew not a lick of what I was doing 3 years ago in that seat. I genuinely was like just a hot mess. I remember one of my first clients was actually Ruby, who is my podcast producer today. I think I charged her like $400 maybe a month. And to put into perspective, if you're working with a like actual social media management person who knows what they're doing, you're spending probably $1,500 plus, probably around the $2,000 range per month on social media, from management to content creation, hashtags, keyword research, community engagement, all of those things. And so I'm actually disgusted that I was charging $400 because I was making nothing. Like it's just nothing. It's nothing. And you learn and you grow. And if you're in that spot right now, there is a time and place for it that you have to charge in a space that feels less than what you deserve. But that's because you're building up your credibility and you're building up, who you are as a business owner as well as your business. And so it served its time and place, but it's done. We don't go back to those prices. I inched my way up to start to charge more based off of the clientele that I was getting and all of those things. And then honestly, incredible mentors who helped me realize like, this is not going to be sustainable. And at the end of the day, I could have, $20, $30, $400 clients, or I could have a couple high paying clients. And those clients, those high paying ones, are probably going to be more aligned with my goals, my vision for my business, as well as what I want to do professionally. And so I really was able to develop myself in the last 3 years to get to this point where I am able to start a package around $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and I'm able to pitch it and all of those things. That was a big lesson in Kassidy Lynne Social, is just like charging my worth. And if I'm honest, it's still a lesson. Like, it still pains me if a client complains about my pricing and I cannot email them back and say, hey, here, what pricing do you want me to charge you? You want me to charge you $1 a month? Okay, fine, we'll do it. I have to be so careful, but it has really helped me having Catherine, who is my social media manager on my team, because I know that when I make a sale, I'm not just making a sale for myself, it's for the business, right? It's for everybody else it affects. And so that was another really good in between, is hiring her, finding her. I learned a big lesson during that. I was basically searching for someone, doing interviews, and everybody, it was just like not my vibe, not my demographic, not someone I could see myself working with long term. Of course, I turned to social media. I post on my story, does anyone know of anyone I could hire? And a friend from college said, hey, my sister might be interested. She's just getting out of college. And got on the phone with Catherine. We literally did one phone call. I was like, okay, you're hired. Like, been the best thing ever. She's worked for me for 2 years, and it takes a special person to work with me because I'm difficult, but I love working virtually. I do not like working in an office. I don't think I will ever have an office. If I do, I will not be there often. It will be for my people who like to be in the office. And so Catherine actually works virtually from California. I'm in Vegas, and we have created an effortless flow. She builds her own schedule, she creates her own schedule, and she does the work when she wants, as long as it's done by due dates. So it's really worked well for us. And I think something that is fun about what I do, and one of the reasons I love it, is that it is virtual, is that it is something I can do from anywhere at any time. And it keeps things interesting. I also love getting to work with clients in person. I have a couple clients that I go in and I get content from them and I record, and that's really fun too, because then I get to be in person with people, which I'm not often in person. It's a lot of behind the scenes work. It's 99.9% on my computer or phone, editing and creating content, writing copy, all of those things. I think another really hard lesson that I've had to learn in becoming an entrepreneur is the management of the business, right? Like, I don't get the luxury of clocking in, clocking out. I have a to-do list, and things have to get done on that to-do list just for the business to run. I have admin tasks that have to be done. I don't have someone helping me check my email. I don't have someone helping me make sure that paperwork's sent in for the IRS or whatever it is. And so while I have mentors and people that help me with those things, it's on me to actually do it. And I can't wait for the day where I have an assistant who's able to help me with those things. But it can be difficult if your personality isn't like that. Let me get this done right away. If you're a procrastinator, some of those things cannot be put off. And so that's been difficult, but a really good lesson of responsibility to make sure that I'm doing those things and staying on top of the items that need to get done in that time. Being a business owner is not for the faint of heart. And I think it really has become trendy, and it's okay to not want to do that. I have a couple friends who were business owners and they went back to full-time work because it just wasn't for them. And I commend them because it's not easy. And it takes a lot of, honestly, it takes a lot of dedication on your part. You have to choose to show up every single day. I make this comparison a lot, but I think what I do in business is very similar to how I show up for myself in the gym. There's non-negotiables. I have to show up for my business. I have to do certain things. And that is how I treat the gym and taking care of the one body I get on this earth, right? Like, I have to go to the gym and take care of myself. For me, it's non-negotiable. I have to go and take care of these items to continue to run my business, a non-negotiable. And so I think that there have been so many in-between moments with this business, and there will continue to be, because if you're a business owner, in-betweens happen about every single day. But a big thing for me is just focusing on the things I can control and letting go of the rest. And that's a little teaser for the next episode, because I'm going to be talking about getting no's within business, specifically service-based businesses, because that's been a very difficult lesson for me, especially the past 6 months. So I hope you'll catch me for that episode. Thank you so much for joining me on the In Between podcast, and we'll see you next time.